And there we are recording. Hey guys, so Sana, welcome back to Random AF Fridays. This is part 3 of the virtual interactive novel Cupid. So yeah, last time we left off we got to chapter 2. So let's go. It's funny, is it not? They always leave you. Such is the way of the world. The more you love, the more you lose. Oh, it seems like they'll stay forever, but they never do. I'm the only one who stays, my lovely Rose. My love is the only love you need. You're always so weak. Why is this woman so horrible? Why? Also so loving to people who did not deserve it. I told you to get rid of her, didn't I? I told you to be wary. I knew it from the start, my Rose. She was nothing but selfish. She led you astray. Oh, shit, that's a choice. She led you astray. Catherine was a curse. She drove you to a love I warned you about. I knew she would just cause you pain. Well, we're definitely not going to say that she's dead. She almost led you astray, away from me. Trust in Mother, darling. Excuse me. Oh, I'm just glad to have you back to myself. Your silence bothers me, child. She was important to me, Mother. I loved her. Mother only laughed as Rosa screamed out her pain. Rosa felt strong arms shake her awake. Guillaume, Rosa. She opened her eyes and was hit by a strange sadness that crushed her. She was dazed for a moment. Why was she so sad? And then she remembered. Her best friend was gone. She was gone. Rosa? How are you feeling? Guillaume sat by her bed, a hand in hers. Rosa didn't realise she had been holding on to it tightly in her fitful sleep. She broke from his grasp and clutched her knees. Rosa? She remained silent. I came to check on you. You went to shock and lost consciousness. I can only imagine how hard it must have been for you to see her like that. Oh shit, so did that actually happen? Oh fuck. His words echoed in her brain, yet she did not register for much of their meaning. Rosa still refused to speak, and Guillaume fisted with his glove. The wake will take place as soon as possible, Rosa. I just wanted to let you know that she's being taken care of. He's hiding something. There was a slight triumph in Mother's voice. He wants to get rid of her body as soon as possible. Don't you see it, child? Tell me you're not falling for this. Rosa was tired. Mother, always a cynic, would say such things. She hated anyone who came close to Rosa's heart. Rosa didn't want to hear it. She didn't want to deal with anything right now. All she wanted to do was wallow in her loneliness, to curl up inside the hole Catherine had left behind and sleep. My child, tell me you see it. Remember the fear in Catherine's eyes in her last days? Look at how unperturbed he is by... Look at how he is unperturbed by Catherine's death. Is this supposed to be a choice? So it was meant to be a choice, it just wasn't registering. There's an absence of feeling in him, don't you see? It goes beyond the usual apathy of loneliness. Did he even really love Catherine? How well do you even know him, child? I've known him for as long as I knew Catherine, Mother. He is a close friend. I didn't ask how long you've known him, but how well. Beyond the mask that he displays in public view, do you even know his past? Do you even know any of his ambitions or secrets? Excuse me. He was always a private man, Mother. Think back, child! Isn't it curious how all his past relationships have ended in disaster? Everything he touches crumbles. That is not enough to accuse him of anything. You idiot! He is different. He does not belong. You have felt it too, haven't you? Rosa looked at Guillaume with new eyes now. A hint of doubt slithered out from beneath her sadness. Rosa wanted something to blame, a cask for all her regrets. Guillaume seemed like the perfect candidate, didn't he? Yes, you're finally seeing it. Open your eyes, child. It made sense. Guillaume and Catherine's relationship began to pewter off into coldness right before she died. Her mental instability only served to compound the fracture in their relationship. Perhaps Guillaume was tired of her and had killed her off for convenience. Or perhaps Catherine, in her psychotic state, killed herself to spite him. Rosa stared at the man beside her. He is not to be trusted, child. Ooh, he is a demon. Guillaume returned Rosa's angry stare with a resolute look. I know you must hate me, Rosa. I'm aware that I only aggravated Catherine's condition with my presence. I know the feeling when I am not wanted. He stood up, a hard yet kind look on his face. Just remember that I will always be here for you. As much as I was there for Catherine, even though she spat me out. Rosa bit her lip. When Catherine had refused to eat, it had been Guillaume who had fed her and attended to her. Despite Catherine hurling abuse at him, he had tried to care for the sick woman himself. Lies, all lies, keeping up appearances. Then what is it he has done, Mother? Catherine committed suicide. It was not by his hand that she died. Are you just going to leave it at that? Look at his face and tell me you trust him wholeheartedly. Rosa tried to search for the answer in Guillaume's eyes. But as always, his face betrayed only few emotions. I don't know. Mother was screaming now. He killed her! I'm sure he did! And you're letting him get away with it! Please, my head hurts. And you say you loved her. You never loved her, you selfish child. I've always known you were this selfish. Just like a father. Stop! You throw people away. Didn't you throw me away when I inconvenienced you? Admit it. You were secretly relieved I died. No, stop it! She screamed back at that last voice. Her mouth quivered. Guillaume stared at Rosa in shock. The outburst had accidentally come out aloud. It pulled a plug that kept the tears from pouring out. Now her vision clouded, and she blinked them away again and again. She was not sobbing. She did not even realise her face was wet. Guillaume and Rosa stared at each other, both kindred in their sorrow. He knelt down by Rosa's bed and wiped her tears with his hand. He did not say anything whilst doing this, and Rosa stared blankly ahead. It almost stunned her how many tears a person's eyes could carry. I loved her too, Rosa. He said it after a while. I know what you're feeling. She didn't know if it was her own or Mother's anger was somehow influencing her, but her chest heaved. She balled up her fist so tightly that her fingernails hurt. Shut up. She spat, and the man recoiled at the uncharacteristic bitterness of her words. Catherine was afraid of you in her last days. You did something to her, I know it! She could feel Mother's inside her head, building up her rage. He has to be punished. You are to blame. He has to atone. I know you are guilty. He must be punished. Guillaume stared at her dumbfounded for a few seconds, but the man didn't try to appease her. He only stepped close to Rosa and wrapped his arms around the hysterical girl. Let go of me! Ooh, drawn anime style, that's pretty. I hate you, let me go! But Guillaume didn't. If you need something to hate, then I'll accept your hate. But you must accept my comfort too. I need you too, right now, Rosa. You are the only one who loved her as much as I did. Guillaume's words brought back Catherine in Rosa's mind. Almost at once the anger was replaced with a sadness so heavy that she couldn't breathe. Why was she so angry again? She was focusing on anger instead of pain. It was easier. The real tears came, all for the loss of the girl they both loved. Tomorrow was not going to come. There was only right now the loss and two friends mourning a loved one. Rosa cried until she thought she wouldn't be able to stop, and Guillaume quietly held her. Slowly, her weeping began to subside into sobs, and only then did he speak again. Stay in the chateau, Rosa. I know you are thinking of leaving now that Catherine is gone, but I can't let you wander the streets again. I will take care of you. It's what Catherine would have wanted. Like a spell being broken, these words brought back her anger. How could you possibly know what Catherine wants? She pushed his arms away from her. She's dead. Guillaume's mouth pursed, and he stepped away. I want you to go. Please leave me. Guillaume sighed and closed his eyes. I understand. He turned on his heels and left without another word. Hours seemed like minutes to her. She would fall asleep and awaken in unfit intervals so often that she lost the exact time. Awake, she would stare at part of the wall with no coherent thoughts forming in her head. One would think morning should be spent in a depressive frenzy. All the reasons to grieve are yours, after all. She could wait now if she wanted. She could pull on her chair. On her hair, even. Why would you pull on a chair? Curse the skies. She could reminisce the past. What the fuck is wrong with me? She could reminisce the past, admire the frailty of human lives. Unfortunately, it was something less poetic. Pain was simple. It was clean. It was a well-sharpened knife that sliced through the heart in one stroke. No blood. No mess. Empty. When tears were spent, there was just a hole where your heart had been. The hurt called out to you. It lingered. But since there was nothing there anymore, you couldn't find where the pain ended and you began. Rosa slept all day. The sun had gone down twice before she shifted from her bed. She stood up slowly, deliberately, with a purpose. My child, you know I hurt when you're hurt. Already a surge of power flowed within her, fueled by her grief. The power filled her up, and there was so much emptiness inside that the energy seemed to saturate her whole body. Purpose was always a balm for grief. Mother, tell me what to do. Oh, fuck. Well, justice always sounds better. Justice, we'll go with justice. Yeah. Start with his guilt, child. Then deliver punishment fitting for one so vile. He cannot get away with this. Rosa didn't speak, but she started to form the words in her mind, feeling them in her bones, giving life to every thought. She took a small knife and carved a symbol on the floor. It didn't need much, a guilt spell. It didn't aim to punish, it only aimed to inform. She needed to know how much guilt the man carried and the source of such guilt. If the guilt was concrete and came from a direct action, then she would know Guillaume did something to Catherine. It had been a while since she had used magic. It used to be the only way she could protect herself from the world. Mother had taught her, and now Mother guided her as she cast her spell. She needed the possession of the man. Rose opted for his voice, still fresh from memory. She focused on the last conversation they shared. If you need something to hate, I will take care of you. I need you. Her words made Rosa feel distress and confusion. Always it was this way with him. The feeling wasn't foreign, it had been there for years. I will always be here for you. Oh. Rosa felt a violent force upturn her stomach. It was that horrid lurch just before vomiting. You failed! The spell collapsed in her brain. Focus, idiot child, or you'll lose your chance. Rosa tried again. This time she focused on Guillaume's eyes. Cold, like flints of steel, dark and fathomless. No grief except perhaps for the situation. No Catherine, no pain of loss. This didn't matter to her. Their relationship was dying anyway. Where was his guilt? Rosa dug deeper. She increased the chanting on her lips. No torment, no uncertainty, no guilt. Did the spell fail again? She searched once more and found nothing. There was no guilt in Guillaume's eyes. She could stop the spell now, knowing that he was innocent. If the spell had worked, then Guillaume was blameless. But this absence was most distressing. Rosa desperately pushed her mind further, almost wishing that there were traces hiding beyond her reach. Guilt should be present in any loss, no matter how little. Don't we blame ourselves for our own loss? Don't we hate ourselves and punish ourselves even if it wasn't our fault? It didn't have to be real, but we need to feel pain. But we need guilt to feel pain. But Guillaume didn't have a sliver of guilt. Holy fuck. The vicious pain took hold of her again, squeezing her stomach with murderous intent. The pain was so great Rosa wasn't sure if the spell had failed or succeeded. Something is wrong. Oh. Before Rosa could agree with Mother, she felt a sharp pain in her throat. Rosa clutched her neck, scraping, scratching. A sharp, jagged lump was blocking her breathing. Oh, shit! She could feel its edges crawl up her windpipe, tearing the soft walls as it moved about. Ugh! Ugh! The pain did not stop. Rosa fell to her knees and gagged. Huge drips of blood-spotted spit ran down her chin. She thrashed about like a woman being strangled. Mother remained calm, unaffected by Rosa's distress. Rosa was about to expel whatever it was. Tears ran down her face. The horrible acidic taste coated her tongue. Finally she opened her mouth and forced the vile thing out. She kept her eyes shut, afraid to look at whatever had come out of her. But the choking feeling gripped her, and she puked again. The liquid dripping down her mouth thickened and congealed. It wasn't spit anymore, but blood. It gathered around her knees in a growing pool. Rosa panted. Every breath was laced with pain. But the gruesome effect had finally stopped. She wiped the sweat on her forehead. Something on the floor reflected light. She struggled to comprehend what was in front of her. She reached out with her hand, and the prick of something sharp made her recoil. She tried again, this time seeing more clearly. Rosa picked them up with shaking hands. Needles. In her palms were a handful of long metal needles. She regurgitated them along with blood and jagged pieces of flesh. Oh, man, this is fucking grim. Rosa examined them with a horrified kind of curiosity. She stuck one in her thumb and it drew more blood. Why would you do that? Silly woman. They were real. They had materialized in her throat while casting the spell on Guillaume. Rosa wiped her mouth. There was something wrong with him. Something potent and dark. Or could it just be she had merely botched the spell horribly? She had pushed her limits this time. She had gone too far. But still, a tugging concern was forming. It was as real as the metal needles in her hand. Rosa tried to stand up on her feet, but she was exhausted. Her knees failed her, and she crumpled on the floor like a rag. We must get to the bottom of this. Damn, yeah, fucking right we need to get to the bottom of this. Are you quite alright, my darling? Now you see it too. There is sinister force at work. Get up. We have a lot of work to do. We must find out what he is and stop him. Rosa stared at the needles in her hand. Who are you really, Guillaume? Chapter 3. Right, that is a perfect place to stop. That is an absolutely perfect place to stop. This is actually getting really interesting. I thought it was just going to be some soppy piece of crap. But It's gone really, really, really well. I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys are as well. We're going to save. Yes, I want to overwrite my save. Right. There's that. And we will begin chapter 3 next time. Thank you very much, guys. This has been part 3 of my interactive novel read-through, I suppose, of Cupid. So if you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for joining me. I will see you guys again. Cheers, guys. Bye.